Hi, my name is Mario. Welcome back to my channel. One of the viewers of this channel asked me to put out a video about the different visit types. So I covered this briefly in an earlier video. There are four main types of visits. The site selection visit, sometimes called a pre-study visit, a site initiation visit, an interim monitoring visit, and a closeout visit. It's best to think of these in terms of the selection visit being the selection of sites for your clinical trial, and what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Site initiation visit is to train the site and make sure that they know what they're supposed to do. An interim monitoring visit is basically routinely checking on the site to make sure they're doing what they were trained to do. And then a closeout visit is essentially your conclusion. So let's talk about the pre-study visit here. And this is going to be a brief overview. Normally, if you start with a CRO or a pharma company, they'll give you a checklist of what they expect for the site selection visit. But let's think about this in a broad perspective. What's the goal of the site selection visit? You want to make sure you select appropriate sites for your clinical trial. You want to keep this in the back of your mind. So how do you know how to select an appropriate site for your clinical trial? The first thing you want to do is read the protocol, pay special attention to eligibility requirements, so the inclusion and exclusion criteria, pay special attention to any specific labs or equipment that might be needed, and then basically ask around for people that may have worked with the site before. And to be honest, that last bullet is something I feel like a lot of people overlook. That's kind of really important. Usually, if you can find another CRA that's worked with the site, they'll give you a much better insight into what the site is like than what you will get at the pre-study visit. So, assuming you've done all that, you go onto the site. Pre-study visits start with a tour of the site usually. So they'll walk you around, they'll show you their clinic, they'll show you EKG machines, crash carts, equipment that they have. You'll look at the labs, you may look at the radiology facility or make sure that they have whatever capability to do whatever scans are required. You also will look at the pharmacy and make sure that they have, that it's a double locked facility, that they're able to monitor temperatures, that they have calibrated equipment, and that they have trained staff. So the site selection visit is one of those things that is actually fairly simple, but critical. And one of the unfortunate things with this industry is being that it's a simpler visit. Usually site selection visits don't take more than 4 hours, usually less than that. It has been more and more common to see site selections go to the more junior CRAs coming in. So there are sometimes dedicated teams of people that do just these types of visits, and oftentimes you don't get the most senior members on those teams. And part of the reason is the simplicity of the visit. However, I feel like this is one of those areas where I wish we would see more senior people, and I wish we'd see people that are more vested in working with that site long term. Usually the person that does the pre-study visit is not the person that gets assigned to the site long term. And I feel if there were more people that knew this is going to be my site, they would be much more critical of basically any findings that they have. So the reason that I say all that is I feel that the pre-study visit and selecting a site is really the foundation that you're setting yourself up either for success or failure. Selecting bad sites then later means that there's need for more monitoring visits, there's more deviations, there's need for more quality assurance, there's need basically to ramp up all the later needs. So if you select good sites, you end up with doing a lot less of that. And I feel people with a lot of experience kind of can tell when sites are good and bad much better than somebody new coming in. Usually sites will tell you whatever you want to hear, especially in terms of recruitment potential at their site. Say that, we can recruit 10 subjects onto this prostate cancer study, for example. And then, a year goes by and they haven't enrolled anybody. So really a lot of experienced CRAs know how to divulge that kind of information. So it's really asking the right questions and taking into consideration what kind of methods are they using, how effective have these methods been in your past experience, and really understanding what the goals of the sponsor and the protocol are, and what the site's ability to commit to meeting goals is. And this is where I said, if you have a CRA that worked with the site in the past, and I can pretty much tell you for every site that I've ever worked with, are they going to be a challenging site, or are they going to be easy? Are there going to be a lot of deviations? Are there not going to be a lot of deviations? Usually the quickest way to tell that, in my experience, is site turnover. If you see a new study coordinator at the site every 6 months, it's going to be a site with a lot of deviations. And part of that is you just can't catch up from training one person to the next person. So there's a lot of site turnover. That's something to be concerned about. So I think that's really the pre-study visit or site selection visit in a nutshell. Like I said, this is just a broad overview. If there's any need, or if there's any demand, I will put out a step-by-step process. So please feel free to add in the comments that you'd like to see this broken out. And as always, if there's any other topic you'd like me to talk about, please list it down in the comments and I'll make a video about it. Thank you.